Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, and Text 17. Tasya karmani udarani. Tasya karmani udarani. Parigitani suribihi. Parigitani suribihi. Ruhi naha shaddadhanana. Ruhi naha shaddadhanana. Leelaya dadataha kalaha. Leelaya dadataha kalaha. Tasya karmani udarani. Pariditani surbihi. Ruhinaha shaddadhanana. Leelaya dadataha kalaha. Tasya karmani udarani. Pariditani surbihi. Ruhinaha shaddadhanana. Leelaya dadataha kalaha. Tasya is karmani, transcendental acts. Udarani, magnanimous. Parigitani, broadcast. Suribihi, by the great souls. Ruhi, please speak. Naha, unto us. Shaddadhanana, ready to receive with respect. Leelaya, pastimes. Dadataha, advented. Kalaha, incarnations. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhu. Translation. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. Please repeat. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. Purport by Prabhu. The personality of Godhead is never inactive as some less intelligent persons suggest. His works are magnificent and magnanimous. His creations, both material and spiritual, are all wonderful and contain all variegatedness. They are described nicely by such liberated souls as Srila Narada, Vyasa, Valmiki, Devala, Ashita, Madhva, Sri Chaitanya, Ramanuja, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, Sridhara, Vishwanatha, Baladev, Bhaktivinoda, Siddhanta Saraswati, and many other learned and self-realized souls. These creations, both material and spiritual, are full of opulence, beauty, and knowledge. But the spiritual realm is more magnificent due to its being full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. The material creations are manifested for some time as perverted shadows of the spiritual kingdom and can be likened to cinemas. They attract people of less intelligent caliber who are attracted by false things. Such foolish men have no information of the reality and they take it for granted that the false material manifestation is the all in all. But more intelligent men, guided by sages like Vyasa and Narada, know that the eternal kingdom of God is more delightful, larger, and eternally full of bliss and knowledge. Those who are not conversant with the activities of the Lord and His transcendental realm are sometimes favored by the Lord in His adventures as incarnations, wherein He displays the eternal bliss of His association in the transcendental realm. By such activities, He attracts the conditioned souls of the material world. Some of these conditioned souls are engaged in the false enjoyment of material senses, and others in simply negating their real life in the spiritual world. These less intelligent persons are known as karmis, or fruitive workers, and the jnanis are the dry mental speculators. But above these two classes of men is the transcendentalist known as Satvata, or the devotee, who is busy neither with rampant material activity nor with material speculation. He is engaged in the positive service of the Lord and therefore he derives the highest spiritual benefit unknown to the karmis and jnanis. As the supreme controller of both the material and spiritual worlds, the Lord has different incarnations of unlimited categories. Incarnations like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, Vyasa are his material qualitative incarnations, but his incarnations like Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, and Vamana are his transcendental incarnations. Lord Shri Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations, and he is therefore the cause of all causes. Samasta Bhaktivedanta Bhagavato Vijnanatumidadasya Jnananjana Chakshurumilitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaudapani Pracharine Vishesha Shantavadi Pashatya Deshakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaudabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Tasya Karmani Udarani, the Lord's activities are Udarani, they are magnanimous. karmani means they are transcendental activities. These karmani activities are not like activities of human beings. Krishna is not a human being. Krishna is not even a god. He is God of all gods. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when he comes to this world, he appears to be like a human form, but actually his activities are all transcendental. They are not ordinary. So that's why they are saying, Tasya karmani udarani. Krishna's activities are magnanimous. They are very broad-hearted. They are very magnificent and magnanimous. Now this is an important point. God's activity should be magnificent, which cannot be done by an ordinary human being. His activities should all be magnificent. For example, 7-year-old boy, Krishna, he holds an entire mountain called Govardhan on his left hand, left finger. Left hand is the weakest hand, and in that hand, left finger is the weakest finger. And that finger is holding the biggest mountain. This is God. His activity should be very magnificent and magnanimous. Udarani. Why did he lift that mountain? In order to give protection to his innocent inhabitants of Vrindavan. So, tasya karmani udarani parigitani suribihi. Now these activities are broadcast by great sages like Narada Muni. Krishna's activities, beginning from his baby form till his Dwaraka pastimes of marrying so many queens and ruling the entire Dwaraka city. These are all described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are described in 10th canto. So the sages are asking the question now in the first canto, and we will see Sutta Goswami explaining these activities in the 10th canto. Why did he not explain immediately? Because activities are interesting, pastimes are very interesting. Why did he not explain immediately? Because Sutta Goswami wants to establish position of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the 9 cantos. After establishing who is Krishna, then his activities can be understood. Otherwise, we will mistake his activities to be normal, mundane activities, which is actually not true. So that's why Sutta Goswami spends 9 cantos to make us understand that Krishna is the original absolute truth. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all these activities, for example, Krishna marrying 16,108 wives. Now this is God. Now who can marry so many women like that? Not possible. And then not only that, he married so many. For each wife, he has built a big palace, and he himself expanded into 16,108 forms. And each form is living with one wife. It's not that one person, every day he goes to one house. No. He expands into 16,108 forms. To see this pastime, Narada Muni, who is a brahmachari, that means an unmarried devotee, who generally don't put his mind into married life or those kind of issues. But such Narada Muni, who is a great, brahmachari, he goes to see Dwaraka to understand Krishna's pastimes in his Grihastha life. So now you can understand Narada Muni is not interested in mundane uh, details of families of this world, but he is interested in transcendental pastimes of the Lord. If Krishna's activities are also mundane, then why will Narada Muni show interest? Such activities are visible all over the universe. Anywhere, any street you will go, you will see them. What is this mundane activities in the family life? Simply living for the sake of uh, sense enjoyment, indriya trupti. That's all. So such activities which are meant to enjoy this body, and this body is actually a temporary body. So these temporary mundane activities will not please a great sage like Narada Muni, who has given up all these temporary material things. But then why is he attracted to Krishna's pastimes? Because they are transcendental, they are spiritual, they are udarani, magnificent and magnanimous. Then bruhi nani shaddadanaha naha shaddadhananam. We are very eager to receive these messages. Leelaya, Krishna's leelas, dadadaha kala means incarnations. So the Supreme Lord, there are many points are here. Leelaya, Krishna's activities are known as Leela, whereas our activities are known as karma. When we do something, karma, reaction comes. But when Krishna does something, that is called Leela, and there is no reactions to his Leelas. Actually, Lord, he doesn't take support of the material energy in order to perform his Leelas. He brings his own energy called spiritual energy, Antarangika Shakti, and in that Antarangika Shakti, he performs his activities. For example, in the material energy, that means what we see all around us, what is the maximum weight that any human being can lift? In Olympics, we'll see, they are lifting how much maximum they can lift. Maybe some 100 kg, 150, say 200 means he will break all world records. Right? That is, so in the material energy, that is the maximum anybody can lift. But here is a personality just 7 years old and is lifting a big mountain. Actually, he is not using this material energy. It's a different phenomena, a different energy, and that is called spiritual energy. Krishna, by using the spiritual mystic power, he can do any magnificent, miraculous activities. This is Lord's capacity. So that's why they are using the word Leelaya. Actually, in Bhagavatam, every word is full of meaning. Just to describe one word, it will take 1 hour. It is like that. It's so wonderful, rich language, Sanskrit, and particularly from Bhagavatam, Sanskrit brings in a voluminous meanings and understanding. So, Leelaya Dadada Kala. Kala means Krishna's various incarnations. Generally, in Hinduism, they think Lord Vishnu is the origin, is the supreme origin, and then he assumes only 10 incarnations. They are called Dasavatar. Right? But actually, Bhagavatam is describing a different picture. It is saying, yes, Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, but out of Vishnu forms, the form of Krishna is 100% Vishnu. That's why he is known as Sampurna. Sampurna avatar, they say. So, Krishna is the original Vishnu form, and from him many incarnations they come. There is no difference between Vishnu and Krishna. We should not get confused. There is no difference between Vishnu and Krishna or any of these forms, Ramachandra, Hare. There is no difference. Prabhupada gives one simple example to understand this. He says, let us say there is a High Court judge. The High Court judge is a very big position in the society. Even the biggest politicians, they fear him, because if he passes one order, politicians will be behind the bars. We are seeing already in the news. So now, when the High Court judge goes to the court, he is very aristocratic. He puts the dress, a flowing black gown, and then he enters into the hall. Then immediately all the people who are seated there, they'll stand up, do that out of respect. And then when he sits down, everybody sits exactly in one or whatever the time in the first half. He will get up, everybody gets up. See, this is how we see. High Court judge makes us. And then when he goes out, he has protection, people, official car, and all that. After all the court affairs are over, he comes to the house. Into the house, and then because his gown is very suffocating, particularly in summer, so he will remove and keep it there. And then wife will be shouting from somewhere, "Akkada petaddo, don't keep it there. How many times I have to tell you, don't keep it there." In the house, nobody is respecting him as, oh, the High Court judge. And they are fearing him, and nothing. They are very because wife is seeing him as a husband, a loving husband, and children are seeing him as a father. He has a different role to play. They are not treating him as a very respectable. He is respectful personality, but for them, he is a different mood. So actually, this is the difference between Krishna and Vishnu. Vishnu means office, Vaikuntha, as a maintainer of the universe. He will be situated in Vaikuntha, Shankha Chakra Gadha Padma. He has a vehicle, Garuda, and he has so many, all those. And then when the Lord Vishnu comes, so many his, associates follow him. And so by looking at him, very majestic form, everybody gets amused, attracted to him. Like our Balaji, who is standing in Tirumala. He is Vishnu. But same Vishnu, when he goes to his house, that is Vrindavan, there Yashoda, Nanda are not going to think, oh, you are Narayana, you are Vishnu, nothing. She will take a stick and run behind Krishna. Where is this Krishna? Why are you doing naughty things? She is running behind Krishna like that. And Krishna is running out of fear of his mother. By seeing Vishnu, everybody fears. But here, by Krishna is fearing his mother. So this is the mode, different mode. Since with Krishna, all kinds of rasa, that means relationships are possible, he is 100% personality. But Vishnu, you cannot have all kinds of relationships. With Krishna, one can have 5 kinds of relationships. They are known as Shanta, Dasa, Sakya, Vasalya, and Madhurya. Shanta means neutral. By seeing God, one becomes stunned. That is called a neutral stage of bhakti. Then Dasya, he feels attracted to serving him. When Krishna is taking rest, all the Gopabalas, they come they fan Krishna because he's tired, like that. Actually, for Lord there is nothing called tiredness, but then He gives an opportunity for all the devotees to experience that. So they fan Him and they take care of Him and all that. So then, uh, Dasya, famous Dasya is Hanumanji and Ramachandra, that is the Dasya. Then Sakya, equality. In Vrindavan, his friends Gopas, they are all in Sakya. Equality means if Krishna is lost in a game, Krishna has to carry his friends. In the childhood we see, no? If you lose, you have to carry them on the shoulder. Krishna carries with them. Then there is a Vasalya. Vasalya means like Yashoda, Devaki. They treat Krishna as a child. This is Vasalya. Then Madhurya. There are some devotees, they marry Krishna. This is Madhurya. But whereas with Vishnu, Shanta is okay. Then Dasya, yes, okay, we have to be like this in front of Vishnu. And then Sakya, it is called Gaurava Sakya. That means very, very respectful Sakya, very less actually. Then beyond that it is not possible. Vasalya and other things are not there. For the ordinary people. So that's why Krishna is considered the complete, the supreme, absolute truth and the Lord of a cause of all causes. Now Krishna's, how many expansions are there? Are they limited only to 10? No. Actually, Krishna's incarnations are compared to waves in an ocean. Hyderabad doesn't have experience. If you go to Vizag, there is a long beach, and weekends we see on Saturday, Sundays, all the local Vizag people, particularly summer, they just come and sit on the shore of the ocean. So when you sit there, what will you observe? You will see one big wave is coming. You think very big, but by the time it comes to the shore, it becomes very normal and then it dilutes, right? That's what. And then you keep enjoying. Sometimes it creates little fear, sometimes it looks very joyful, like that. And then we have anyway our popcorn is there, and then keep this thing and go eating. So if you count the waves, they keep coming. There is no end to this count. Throughout the day and night, day after day, the waves are keep coming. Similarly, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the incarnations are coming continuously and incessantly. There is no count to this. But why only 10 are given? Actually, that poet, Vaishnava poet, he has glorified 10 incarnations. Because to glorify everything, unlimited incarnation, not possible for us. So he has glorified 10 incarnations and they are known as Dasa Avatara. So actually it's a very technical subject. When Krishna expands, that is known as plenary expansion. And when that expansion further expands, then he is known as Kala. Leelaya Dadata Kala. Kala means his expansions. So there is a big list of these expansions in Bhagavatam, and we will see. So here Prabhupada mentions few of the expansions that Lord takes. He has something known as qualitative expansions. So, for example, the list is given. Brahma. Brahma controls mode of passion. So that's why he is known as an expansion of Krishna, but meant to control the passion. Then Rudra, he is also an expansion of the Lord, but he is meant to control Tamoguna. Rudra deals with Tamoguna. Vishnu personally takes care of Satoguna. These are the three Trinity we hear in Hinduism. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Actually, all of them are called qualitative incarnations of the Supreme Personality of God. Actually, you cannot have three Supremes. It's a misunderstanding. Supreme by definition, only one. You cannot have three. If there are three, then the question is, who is that one? That one is the Supreme Lord. Actually, we will see Bhagavatam conclusively proves that Krishna actually exhibits complete Godhood in his pastimes. You will never ever see such pastimes exhibited by any other incarnation. They come only for some specific purpose, some specific things. But Krishna, he exhibits all kinds of pastimes. So, does it mean that Vishnu is less? No, it's the same person. That High Court example you should remember. Same judge. But when he comes to court, he comes with a very specific purpose. Just do his duty and goes back. In his house, he is more free. He may do some court work also. He will deal with wife. He will deal with children as a father. He will deal with neighbors as a neighbor. See, so many things are there in the house. But when the same person goes to the court, he has only one specific thing. Same personality. The difference between God and an ordinary human being is this. An ordinary human being, if he is in the court, then he is not in the house. Correct now? You are all here. That means you are not in the house. If you are in the house, that means you are not here. You cannot say, Prabhu, I am there in the house and I am participating. No, that capacity we don't have. But God is not like that. Krishna can exist and Vishnu can exist simultaneously. Krishna's all his incarnations are simultaneously present and all are equally powerful. They are all same God but different moods. When you go in front of Narasimha, his mood is different. He is same God only, same Krishna, same Vishnu. But when he is in that mood, he is in the mood of protecting devotees. So when you go in front of Narasimha, he is already in the mood of protecting devotees. And if you say, my Lord, please protect me, happily he will protect you. So this is Narasimha avatar. This Trinity has come from Krishna, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. And then Manu, Prithu and Vyasa are his qualitative incarnations. Who are these great personalities? We will see. What are their activities? We will see. For example, Vyasadeva. What an activity. You imagine what kind of literature that he has written. All the 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, then 18 Puranas, Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata. Impossible for an ordinary human being. Now human civilization has advanced to such a level, 2000 years. Now can you show one poet, one writer who has written such voluminous books? Nobody. There is one modern Vyasa, that is our Acharya Prabhupada. He wrote 80 books. So he is actually representing the original Vyasa. So these are the incarnations, and then he also has permanent total transcendental incarnations. They are known as Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, etc. So these are the Leelaya, the Datankala. They are interested. What did he do as Vamana? What did he do as Varaha? Why Lord takes such forms as Varaha, as Matsya? Why he takes animal forms? Once we discussed also. That is to enhance the enjoyment. Leela means just pastimes, means for enjoyment. There is no pressure. Why Krishna has to come in this form? That's for enjoyment. The whole principle of existence, why are we all existing? The principal existence is simply to enjoy life. It looks like very materialistic. No. Enjoyment in relation to God. Godly enjoyment. This is the principle of existence. That's why you see everybody works for this only. How to enjoy. But in this world, enjoyment means enjoyment of this body. But the problem is, this body is not the real body. Inside this body is the Atma. This body is matter. This body is actually a machine made by Krishna and given to us for us to experience this world. How did this Krishna created this machine? Through mother's womb. As soon as the soul enters mother's womb, it develops the machine. Can you believe one machine producing one more machine? Mother's womb producing one more machine automatically. Mother also doesn't know what kind of a body comes for the child. She doesn't know. Father doesn't know. But there is one person who knows, and that is Krishna, God. And then He creates those limbs and everything gets created. That's also explained in Bhagavatam, in one of the cantos. And why Krishna gave this machine to us? To fulfill our desires in this world. Based on our past destiny, Krishna creates a machine for each one of us in order to enjoy our desires, whatever desire it could be. I gave many examples. For example, now this is an election time. Everybody will be thinking, I will get an MP seat, MP ticket, or assembly ticket, or some people go beyond that. I want to be a minister, I want to be an MLA, or I want to be a Prime Minister. And when he desires to be a Prime Minister, let us say he is very vehemently praying to the Lord, my Lord Krishna, Vishnu, please make me Prime Minister of this country. Now, Lord sees his prayer, he hears this prayer, and then immediately Lord wants to make him. But in this world, one has to have that destiny, that pious credits. He has to accumulate punya. So let us say his punya is sufficient. That's all. He will become Prime Minister. Krishna will sanction. Okay, let him be Prime Minister of this country. Suddenly from nowhere, you will see that person rises up. He becomes Chief Minister or he becomes a Prime Minister. Nobody will expect that such person can become a Chief Minister or a Prime Minister, but because his karma is there, Krishna is karma. No, but let us say his karma is not there. Then what Krishna will do? He will make him go through a process of accumulating all the good karma, and then once he is ready, sanction. It may take 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives. He has to wait. In the next generation, suddenly he will become a Prime Minister of the country. So our prayers will not go in vain. God is listening. But there is a lot of competition. So there is a system. You accumulate better than the other people, then you can go. You can become. But let us say the other person is having more karma. So see, I am neutral because all of you are equal to me. You are all my children. I am neutral. But if he has accumulated more, let him get the chance first. So this is how this world works. So Krishna, he has created this machine and he has given to us to experience this world and to fulfill our desires. That way, practically speaking, this body is actually a desire fulfilling machine. Inside the body is the soul. That means we are actually inside this body. One Vyakti is sitting inside, one personality is sitting inside, and he is known as Atma. And using this machine, he is experiencing. Like when you go inside the water, you have to put a machine all over you. What you call scuba diving into the water. You have to put a machine. So the actual person is inside the machine. But through the machine, he is enjoying or whatever experiencing. So similarly, we came into this foreign environment. This is not our real environment. We are also with God. We are also in Vaikuntha. We are all with God. But we wanted to have a scuba diving here. So Krishna said, okay, take this machine. So inside the machine is the actual person and he is known as Atma. Now using this machine he is experiencing. You see through the eyes he is seeing. Inside person is seeing through the eyes. Oh, this is nice. But this is not good. This is good. He is experiencing. So now here in the purport, Prabhupada says this material world is something like coming to a cinema hall. You notice that the word, he says, cinemas, likened to cinemas. These material creations are likened to cinemas. I'll just try to little bit elaborate on this. It's important. Actually, this world is like a theme park. The world is like a theme park. What kind of a theme park? Experiential theme park. You are immersed into the story. Like there are some theme parks where you will be immersed into the story. You enter into the theme park, then all those, if it is a horror theme park, let us say, all those horror things will be there. Suddenly one horror thing will come in front of you. You will be shouting and yelling. So that is actually a horror theme park. But it's an immersive. And so it's a theme park. And Krishna gave this machine. Remember, this machine is also kind of a little bit of a house theater. I'll just tell you. Inside Atma is there. It is continuously watching the mind, the screen of the mind. Mind is like a screen. We are going on watching the screen. And on the screen, if there is a horror, we will feel horror. And in the mind, if there is a pleasant thing, then we will feel very nice. Actually, if you start chanting, you will see that you are different from mind. Yes, your mind goes here and there, but you don't want to disturb yourself. But mind goes here and there. That proves that mind is different from you. Mind is different from you. You are watching the mind. For example, I am watching this mobile. That means I am different from the mobile. I am different, right? So similarly, if you are watching screen, mind, that means mind is different, I am different. I am only a watching person. On the screen, there's so many images are coming. Actually, in our mind, no, so many pictures, so many videos they come, and we are watching that. So this body itself is like a theater, because we are continuously watching the screen of the mind. But imagine the theater itself is moving. Nowadays there is a 4D, 5D experiences. Krishna has made this 100D experience in this world. We are inside a cinema theater, and this itself is moving in this experiential theme park. Very, very powerful cinemas we see in this world. And uh, in the mind screen, if there are a lot of negativities, let us say from the world, you pick up a lot of negativity, crime and this and that. So in your mind screen also, you start seeing crime scenarios. Whatever you see from the outside, in your internal screen also, it will show you the same thing. So that's why in our childhood, particularly grandparents, they keep all the small children, night time, they will tell you bedtime stories of Rama and Krishna. They tell, see, Krishna is like this, he lifted Govardhan and this and that. Ramachandra killed like this. So the child is hearing, this is how it is. And then when he sleeps, he's in the sleep also we see again movie. That is a night show. either this is daytime show, that is night show. So nighttime cinemas are also there in our mind. We call them as dreams. Yes or no? Dreams. Dreams means nothing but day to day, whatever you have kept it inside, you have seen, all those things will become, your night show. So when the children, they hear this Rama, Krishna, their pastimes, when they sleep, then they dream about Krishna. They dream about Rama. Nice, no? If God comes into our dreams, so nice. We'll be very happy. But then, if we see horrible things in the daytime, then horrible things will come in the night time. Nowadays they are producing these horror movies, ghosts and this and that and all that. But let us say we go and see, because we want to experience, okay, what is this movie? When you go and see. Such scenes will go inside, and in the night time, they will, you have to experience these shows inside your body. So, we are like already in a theater, mind is showing you all kinds of things, and we are also in the 100D, 1000D experience. That's why Prabhupada is calling this as cinemas. We should not be interested in these cinema shows. In the sense, we have a family life, we have a real life. Cinema mein kya hai? The hero will do anything and everything, but actually in the reality, nothing is possible. Because he is not a real hero. He is not a real hero. In the movie, the real hero will be jumping trains or catching flights while running. All those things you will see. But actually, in the outside world, same hero you ask him to jump the trains, he cannot do. It's a movie. So these are unreal things, simply for some entertainment. Unreal thing. Real hero, if you want to see, that is the supreme hero is God, Krishna. He need not have to put on any, all those things. Naturally, he is a hero. Naturally, he can do all those big things. You want to see big heroic things? So here, Krishna's pastime. Actually, reading Krishna's pastimes, enjoying those pastimes, absorbing ourselves with great devotion, actually that is the real path of enjoyment. Devotees, in the cinema theater, I am just giving you some example. In the theater, everybody is seated. The hero is, anytime he is going to appear on the screen. And there is some problem, big problem. And suddenly we will see, tuck, one leg comes into the screen. You see, no? Whose leg is that? You know his hero is coming. Everybody immediately, they blow whistles and clap and this and that. just by seeing one leg. So, if we are doing so much for some ordinary, so to say, faltu, it's a false thing. Now, how much we have to be excited by God's activities, which are real activities. This very creation is God's activity. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. The creations in the material world, they're very magnificent. You can see the creation. The one who created this, how magnificent he must be. And Udarani, he is magnanimous at the same time. So this is the beautiful understanding of Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, and that is the path of real enjoyment. Take pleasure in Krishna's Leelas. There is a book compiled by Sri Prabhupada, 10th canto, into a book called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a book like that. It is actually 10th canto. So you need not have to wait for all the 9 cantos to complete. You can read this Krishna book. And this Krishna book will very nicely describes the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So nicely you read, and before sleeping you read at least 15 minutes to half an hour. For your children also you read and make them listen to it. Very auspicious for us and for our children and for our family. Just by reading for 15-20 minutes or one chapter. Such an interesting leelas, so you can happily read. There is no big philosophy there. Okay, so that's why this is the path of the real enjoyment. Any questions? Yeah.
But the way you are explaining and the clear concept of Sanskrit, the way you are telling us how to read, this is really marvelous. I am really all from Pravachanam.
Thank you.
Because Prabhuji, I have to share one thing with you about it. I want to share a story behind Krishna's 16,108 miles. Actually, basically, I think he had just 8 miles, and 16,100 days which were captured by Dasa.
Yes.
Dasa. And after Krishna killed him, so he freed all 16,100.
Yeah.
So they asked Krishna to marry.
Yeah.
Because nobody can accept that.
Yeah, it's a good point. I will just elaborate on this. Why did Krishna marry those 16,100 queens? So that is because they were all actually princesses, young, unmarried, princesses. But Narakasura, because of his demoniac ability and force, he conquers all these kingdoms and abducts these princesses and imprisons them into his custody. And during those Vedic culture, if a young unmarried woman is missing from the house, even for a day, her coming back to the house, her acceptance into the society is not easy. She will never get married. A woman who is out of the house for at least 3 days, let us say, she will not get married. So that was the kind of society those days. And so all these princesses were abducted and kept in the prison for many years. And so they are regularly, continuously praying to Krishna to deliver them. So that's when Krishna comes into the picture. He kills Narakasura. And then finally when they releases all these queens, they say, now we have no shelter to go. Even if we go, neither our parents nor the society is going to accept us. You please accept us and keep us as your maid servants. But Krishna, not as maid servants, he accepts them as properly wedded wives, as per the Vedic tradition. But because he is God, he is able to marry 16,100. Actually, there is one more incident connected to this. All these 16,100 are great sages who have been practicing this, austerities and tapas, to have the Supreme Lord as their husband, as their uh, as Madhurya. They wanted Madhurya Bhava with the Supreme Lord. So they get attracted to Ramachandra's beauty and goes and requests Ramachandra, you please permit this kind of a interaction with you, a Madhurya interaction with you. That means uh, they they wanted to marry by turning themselves into women. So then Ramachandra says, I am actually Ekapatni Vrata. I have decided not to marry more than one. So in my next incarnation, I will fulfill your desire, he will say. And then after Ramachandra is Krishna, and Krishna, he accepts them, those devotee, 16,000 devotees as his own wives. So this is the relationship, the living entity. So we have to learn how to serve Krishna. Our Acharya is teaching us how we should develop that Dasya Bhava. And once we get liberated, then our actual position, our actual relationship with the Supreme Lord will be revealed. Currently, we have forgotten how to serve the Supreme Lord. So that much we have to learn, in this life. Any other? Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to ask, as you said, cinema is not good. Cinema is not good, you said. So, in that case, if we are watching Krishna serials or Bhakti serials in cinema, TV, television, then what is it?
Yeah. Actually, when we watch any cinema, very carefully choose the content. Our philosophy is this technology, cinematic technology, whatever technology, if it is used for Krishna and Krishna's pleasure, it is very nice. But if that is used to increase unrest in the society, to increase crime, to increase all this negativity in the society, then that is not good. So, our philosophy is not against the cinema or any of those technologies, because Bhagavatam says all these technologies, all these facilities are ultimately sanctioned by the Supreme Lord. He only gave this ability to identify these technologies. What is the scientist doing? Scientists are recognizing these rules, laws, and using those laws, they are able to create such nice technologies, right? So, unless God has permitted, He has created these technologies, they cannot recognize. So now, what our philosophy is saying is, use all these technologies for Krishna. For Krishna consciousness, for godly enjoyment. We can enjoy, yes, like Mataji is asking. Let us say there is a movie connected to Krishna. In fact, we made movies. There is one Little Krishna. You heard? Little Krishna? Yeah. It is meant for children. And we made many episodes, Krishna's pastimes. And so that is a movie. We used the technology of cinematic technology. So such movies we can see, they are very auspicious. They are Subhapradha. It will not create any restlessness in the heart. So that is okay. So we can go, there are some old movies will be there, like Bhakta Prahalad. You heard that? Bhakta Prahalad? In our generation we used to see. You can watch Bhakta Prahalad, you can watch any of Ramayana, Mahabharata. That's why in our country Ramayana, Mahabharata is so popular. We can watch. I remember when that Ramayana was coming, most prominently the Mahabharata, what is his name? Chopra. Huh? And that is Ramayana. Then B.R. Chopra. B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata, when it is coming, I remember we were like small kids. That time there used to be a lot of power cuts during summer. And when this Mahabharata is coming, people will become very angry if they remove power at that time. So that time alone, they used to keep the power, and rest of the day they used to cut. We don't mind. Huh? Yeah. So during COVID also, there is a Ramayana also again they show, because instead of sitting and fearing what will happen, better is to see Krishna's pastimes, Ramachandra's pastimes. Actually, these activities are very pleasing to the heart. Nobody need to tell you, but it is somehow very pleasing automatically, because in each heart there is a devotion to God. It's already there, just that it is now hidden because of so many other things. It is dormant. So when you go on seeing these, that internal feelings for God, they'll come out. Then that devotee enjoys his life. So, of course, nowadays properly they are not making Ramayana and Mahabharata. If they can follow the scriptures and nicely make it, it will be a greatest contribution. In the world of cinemas now, there's so much of negativity. Instead, if they can show some nice pastimes of God, Krishna, it will be very nice. It will reduce this negativity and people can be a little happy. Sometimes we hear about some crimes. When the police is investigating, why did you do exactly like this? Why? He says, I have seen in one movie. There also the hero has handled like this. This is the problem. So when we see something, it will come out as a solution. It will come out as a solution. So we should be very careful what we are seeing. Nicely enjoy all devotional, something connected to God and Krishna. So, particularly in the older days, they used to do, have a collection. In your house, let us say there is a home theater. Sit here, weekend or whatever, nicely watch. Initially, mind will say, no, it's all old, who will see, and all those things. I say, get lost. I want to see this. Get used to some of this Mahabharata, Ramayana kind of thing. I will tell you, you will get such a nice taste. You will feel very excited. So you can enjoy that, and that is Leelaya Dadata Kala. So Krishna's pastimes. Any other questions? Yeah.
So when I am trying to control my mind while I am trying to chant, but then even before I reach to that target, there is disturbance.
Yeah.
And so how do I reach to that spiritual path while I have so many distractions within?
Yeah.
And I did talk about this previously, and this was particularly about the chanting, but even otherwise,
Yeah.
I sometimes feel there is no control on our mind.
Yeah.
Because the smallest things, like you don't want to eat it, but you eat.
Yeah.
So, just your suggestion.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. In the sadhaka stage, our biggest enemy is very close to us. That is our own mind. We are living with the biggest enemy. That is called our own mind. No, what is this mind? Mind is a person? No. Mind is a machine. You take it as a sophisticated computer machine. Now, what is this machine? This machine produces 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day. 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts they pass by every single day. Now, somebody did a research and they found that almost 70 to 80% of these thoughts, 60,000 thoughts, are against us. Why is that? Who has done this? Why mind has become so against us? Actually, mind was trained up like that by you only. By seeing this, by seeing that, by seeing this. We only trained up our mind. Mind is a machine. जैसा ट्रेनिंग करेगा वैसा ही बिहेव करेगा. How you train it? It acts like that only. But is it easy to train a mind? Krishna says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Balavadodam. Mind is very strong and obstinate. It will not change so easily. For example, you will say, see, this is not good, don't eat. It will not listen. That's what our experience is. It is called very obstinate. It will not listen to us now that easily. So now, how should I handle this mind? See, in Krishna consciousness, our process is not to directly control the mind. Surprising. Our process is to control the tongue. Let me repeat you. We are not into controlling the mind. That will come automatically. We are into controlling the tongue. How tongue is controlled? Tongue has two kinds of things: eating, tasting food. One more is talking. You talk only things which are connected to Krishna. And eat only which is offered to Krishna. Both are Krishna's connection. Eat only Krishna Prasad. And eat and talk something connected to Krishna. If there is nothing to talk, chant Hare Krishna. Why it is said that tongue has to be controlled? Tongue is more easy to control than the mind. And once you control the tongue, tongue controls the mind. Interesting. So during japa, your worry is about how do I produce the sound. That's all. You are looking at the tongue control and mind gets control. Okay, just to summarize this mind thing, there are two things that we can do. One is you can look at the mind, the screen, and then getting horrified. Oh, this thought, that distraction, this. There's one more is there. You simply focus on Krishna's service. Mind will follow. Mind can be used as a screen, or mind can be used as a focusing tool. You should focus it on Krishna's service, on chanting, on next this, next that, or your own job. Let us say you are working in a company or whatever. You focus on your job. Next. Let us say you are a housewife. Next. What should I do? If you are absorbed in work, no, and you take my work is given by God in this way. So it is Krishna's work. And remembering Krishna, you go on doing your work. I'll tell you, you will be absorbed so much, you will not have any issues with the mind. But what is happening, we somehow say there is no work or no engagement. And if you sit quietly, then mind goes on showing various kinds of things on the screen. So it will become like you are watching the screen now. Don't watch the screen. Use the mind for work. This is a key. Always use the mind for work. Then you are happy. So now, how do I do work? Yogastaha Kurukarmani. You should think that this work is given to me by God I should do it nicely, and whatever results are there, a little portion I'll give it to Krishna's service. In your own house, you can spend for Krishna, or you can give it to temple. You can give it for going to Krishna's temple. You can spend it for Balaji, traveling. All those things you can do. That is called yogastaha. You have to work. While working, you are thinking of the Lord. This work is connected to Krishna. In the end, some results are there. Use it for some percentage for Krishna's service. Then your whole life will become Krishnaized. You will always be connected to Krishna. Then there won't be any issues. Be busy with the work. Let us say so much turbulence in the mind, not able to focus also. Then one simple solution is there. You have to do gross physical work. Take a broomstick and broom all these things. In fact, we also do. Take a one cloth and mop the floor. Let us say whole floor is already clean. No problem. Once again you mop. Better than this. If you want to bring very turbulent mind, highly turbulent mind into control, physical work, absorption in that. Get absorbed in nicely cleaning the floor, or doing some powders, or doing something, decorating your house, whatever with Krishna's picture. This is the best thing that you can do. Grasp physical work. Then this mind will become pacified. Slowly it will become pacified, and then it will not trouble you. Okay, these are some of the tips. There is a big subject on this mind thing. Best is to absorb in service. Service to Krishna. Devotional service to Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here. So Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.